what it is what I do, Tingle community. So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the process I undergo when drawing a line art portrait in Photoshop. I pretty much use the pen tool the whole way through, a little bit of drawing tablet at the start to get some of the lines going, but that's not an essential step, and I'm going to be talking over the video with some tips and tricks on how I do it. Without further ado, let's get it!
That bitch, I'ma make that booty jiggle, listen, kick back, bitch. She gon' run my Dragon Balls that I make one wish. What is that? She don't wanna to the young dagger dick. Ay. She out the mileage, she wanna take 7 dick. Body to body SMC.
Alright, welcome back guys. So what you're looking at here is the original photo unedited alongside the Photoshop outcome. And then in this next slide here, you'll see that for the final outcome, I actually enhanced the colours slightly. I saturated them basically, which meant everything became a bit more vibrant. I took the colours directly from the image when making it, and that meant that when it was like a digital render, it lost a bit of the excitement, but just because it wasn't as colourful. Like, it gets away with it in the photo because you know that it's natural daylight and it's got the background and everything. So yeah, I just saturated all of it. Anyway, this right here is the first step, and I used my Wacom drawing tablet and literally just sketched a complete trace of the outline. So I was left here with like a brush stroke, just sort of showing me where the edges were so I could get away from working off the original image as quickly as possible. And here I was just taking colours. I put the face next to it and I started working on like adding the light parts to dark parts and just getting some of the colours onto the face. I then blurred this and smoothed this, almost like doing makeup. Like, imagine you're dabbing like bits of colour onto the face. That's probably not how makeup works, I wouldn't know, but yeah, that's what you do. And then I was just doing that like a bit more with other things like the lips, the eyes, the eyebrows, just getting the colour in. I then moved on to the hair and did the same thing, the neck, the jumper. This first stage is just all about getting the colour right, because then I'm going to be going over with the lines, and then it's up for interpretation. I can take it down any direction that I want, but having a good like standing point early on, taken directly from the image, is probably a good start unless you're very confident with colours and lighting and all that. I find this step very useful. After this, I lowered the opacity of everything and moved to the pen tool. This is where I would go over the messy lines that you're seeing at the moment and just make them really smooth and, you know, give some accent and depth to the lines, just making it a bit more stylish. And from there, you're going to be looking at doing the same thing with the colours. So like adding lighting, maybe, so pick one side, say the sun was coming from the left or the light source was coming from the left. You're going to have like the hair having a white line at the top. You'll see that in the final outcome, and then the black shadows to the right. You can see here I'm just doing this to the jumper. I'm trying to create some depth, creating the ripples. And then yeah, I've lowered the opacity of everything and I'm literally going over with the pen tool. Now, a lot of people ask me with the pen tool how I use it so quickly and like create the nice lines. There are a lot of things you need to know about the pen tool. I think one of the biggest things that like changes people's view on the pen tool is the fact that once you've created like a large bend, you can alt left click on the square, and then you can like set it off in a new direction without having it trying to bend the next line for you. That's something that a lot of people just didn't know about, and it put them off of using the pen tool. And don't be afraid, like I'm doing here, to go over and over the same bit. Like, sometimes I'm not happy with the shape of something and I can exaggerate it, or I can make it flatter than it was. When you're working on like a portrait or a face, it does matter to a certain extent, because obviously you need to keep it looking like the person that you're doing it for. But at the end of the day, it's all about making it stylish and giving it lots of character. So yeah, here I'm literally doing the outlines. I'm going over what I've already drawn and just suggesting where the lines are going to be with these thicker, nicer looking lines. There aren't too many stages to this process. You're going to find yourself doing this and then doing the same kind of thing with colour. So imagine like the colour that's already underneath, but you're making it more blocky and more cartoony. So yeah, the Wacom drawing tablet is definitely helpful. It isn't essential. You can go over with the mouse or start doing these lines straight from the photo, but it's sort of that extra step to making it your own artwork instead of being just ripping it off straight from the photo. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the rest of this speed up. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I read everyone's comments and I'll be sure to get back to you if I know the answer. Definitely drop a like if you can, that helps a lot. I always forget to ask for them, but they are very useful. for the algorithms on YouTube and everything like that, and subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for all the growth. I've been getting loads of it recently. I've started up at college, which means I haven't had as much time to do stuff like YouTube, but I'm now down to 3 days a week, so I'll be uploading a lot more as I've got more time on my timetable, and I'm doing lots with Muddyclout, which is my clothing design. There's going to be a website drop-in. I'm going to start releasing posters, and there's lots more designs coming soon, including like my own artwork, as in I'm going to be doing some of my own characters and stuff instead of revamping like old TV shows, which is what I'm doing at the moment. So stay tuned for that. You can go look at some of my videos. I've got videos about that fashion brand on this channel. Anyway guys, hope to see you in my next video. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and that is me out. Peace.
Another day, my demon does every day that I'm wasting mountains of regret. So I tell myself